This is Joel Smith 28.2, and I'm going to be talking today about TV and a local radio, as well as a national radio, and what factors you need to consider whilst conducting yourself in an interview. So starting off with the TV, you need to make sure you're polite. So these are things like what you say, how you conduct yourself, and this will be a really big advantage of you, because if you're on a TV show and you're really polite, then people are going to like you, people aren't going to discriminate against you, and you're going to get on really well with everyone. You need to make sure you don't swear on national TV, because obviously it's national and everyone can see it, and there'll be millions and millions and millions of people watch it, that tune into the local TV each morning. So yeah, and then you need to make sure you have a good appearance. So if you're playing for a Premier League club, you can either wear, or a good example would be, you either wear the club tracksuit, so you have the club logo on you, or you wear a suit. This will make you appear really well, and it'll make you look the part, and make you feel like you're trying, and make you look like you're trying as well. Also, the tone of your voice, so things like how deep you talk, how you're talking in general, like the way you come across. Also the pace of your voice, so you have to make sure you don't talk too slow, you don't talk too fast, and you have to make sure people can hear you on the TV, and also you don't want your hand over your mouth every time you talk a lot on the TV, because people may not be able to understand you. And also you have to make sure you have a clear voice as well, because on a TV show, obviously you have a microphone as well, but you have to make sure that comes across clear, and make sure you don't stutter, because then you could just feel like you've put under pressure and then you could mess up. Also your timing, so what you say, so if you're in the transfer window and you want to go somewhere, so for example, James Maddison, if he was now to do an interview, because he's been linked with lots of Premier League clubs, he would have to mind out what he says, so he can't give away anything. So he couldn't just say, "Oh, I'm going to Leicester in the summer," or "I'm going to Liverpool in the summer," because that would cause confusion within the club, and it would bring a lot of pressure onto him. And make sure you don't talk about something boring on the TV, because people go onto the TV, and you have to talk about something interesting, because unless people will just turn it off and they don't want to hear you. So if you just start rambling on about not football and just something boring that you do on a day-to-day basis, then people aren't going to really be bothered. But if you're talking about something really entertaining in football, and like behind the scenes of the club and what you do, then people are more likely to listen. Also on TV, you have to make sure you have good body language. So a lot of people use their hands when they want to express their feelings and want to talk about things, and this makes you come across really polite and well-being. Also the awareness of the topic, you have to make sure, so if they ask you a question, make sure you relate your answer to that question. Don't just talk about something else, because people are going to get boring and then people might just turn it off. And also controlling emotions, so say if you got sent off in the last game and then you got interviewed on the local TV or on the national TV, then they may say, "Oh, why did you get sent off? Why did you do all that things?" Then you have to control yourself in a good manner, because you may get angry, and you don't want that on national TV, because then it can make you look bad, and it can also make the club look bad. Now on to local radio as well as the national radio. You still have to no swearing at all, because people listen to the radio in their cars every morning. Whenever you turn on your car and you switch on the radio, you'll be on there. So millions and millions and millions of people will watch you, and especially no swearing, because a lot of kids listen to the radio as well. Like some families will have the local radio on in the morning in the home, so little kids will be able to see. Also, the tone of your voice and the pace of your voice on local radio, because obviously you're not being watched, but people will figure out like how you talk, the pace of your voice on the local radio, and also when you're talking on the radio, you have to make sure your voice is clear, because there's a big microphone in front of you, and if you've got your hand over your mouth, they may not be able to hear you properly. So you just have to make sure you speak in a clear voice, as well as timing again, what to say. So don't relate stuff to other topics, just keep to your topic, know what you're talking about, and also you have to intrigue people in the local radio, because you have to intrigue them by the way you talk, because people can just literally turn the radio off. So the appearance, yes, you would wear a tracksuit or a club thing, but I think the most important thing on the radio is talking in a clear voice, because obviously people can't see you, they can only hear you. So I think that is a real benefit of talking on the radio. They don't have to see you, and people don't have to actually look at you. Also, I think your body language does matter, but obviously people still can't see you like waving your hands and expressing your feelings, so you have to express that through your voice and have to come across really polite, and I think that will work out a massive advantage. And also controlling emotions again, because a lot of pundits can go on the radio, just like TalkSport. Alan Brazil, he can get on people's backs, and for example, Joey Barton used to be on TalkSport before he took the manager job. He used to get on players' backs and say how it is, and say if you were on there, you would have to make sure you control your emotions, you don't get annoyed, because it is a national radio and millions of people will be listening to it, as TalkSport is one of the biggest in the world. You have to just make sure you mind out what you say, and don't be harsh to anyone. Make sure you come across polite, and that's it. And then the second part is how you would be around sponsors, agents and club owners. I think around sponsors you're more likely to be really well presented, so you would wear a suit or you would wear a club tracksuit, because you are representing that sponsor. So for example, Eden Hazard or Cristiano Ronaldo, when they wear Nike, they go everywhere in their Nike tracksuit or Nike clothing. And also, if you don't do this, then it could be in your contract terms that you've signed with your sponsor. If you don't wear your sponsors and wear like Adidas for something, and then you could get your contract terminated with the actual sponsor. Being with an agent, I think you're more likely to be friends with an agent instead of being really professional like the sponsors. I think you could have treated your agent like a friend, like a mate that you'd hang out with, and I think you're more likely to talk in a worse manner to your agent as well, because you're paying your agent. It's like you're paying them to be your friend, so they're gonna form a close bond with you. They're gonna know what you do. They're gonna be intrigued in what you do, and then the last one is club owner. I think you're gonna be really, really, really well mannered talking about a club owner and talking to a club owner. So for Norwich City, if James Maddison was with Delia, he'd present himself really well. He'd make sure he sits up in a posh manner. He would talk well. He wouldn't use any bad language. His appearance would be good. His tone of voice would be really well good to Delia. His body language would be really well and really good. He would act like he's interested in everything. His emotions would be really good, and he wouldn't have a temper. This has been 28.2.